Well, I'm not sure where it goes, but it goes somewhere, right?
Well, hello and welcome back to the Bikepacking Dad's YouTube channel. Also, welcome to the organised chaos that is my garage. I know where everything is, nobody else does. But that's okay. Behind me, you can see the bikes loaded up. It's the end of January in Scotland, and I'm going for a little weekend overnighter. I've stolen one night away. I've had it in the calendar for ages, so the boss lady is looking after the children, and I'm out of here. So, a little bit of prep the night before. I've got the bike loaded up, I've got all the bags on. So without further ado, we're going to jump into a little view of what is in the bags. I'll talk you through all the gear. These are my Ortlieb bags. I've got the handlebar pack, the frame pack and the seat pack. If any of these bags interest you whatsoever, I'll put links to some reviews I've done in the description down below. But without further ado, let's get stuck into what's inside and let's go and enjoy the Scottish winter.
So let's see what I'm taking with me, shall we? First off, lube the chain before you go, don't forget. Right, lights front and back, trip computer. A POC helmet, safety first. Some deep winter gloves from Loch Eddy. I've got an enduro race cape. I've got a head torch because it's winter. A Patagonia beanie to keep my noggin warm. And some Giro shoes with DHB neoprene overcovers on because it's winter. But what about in the frame pack? What are we keeping in there? I've got a power bank to keep stuff charged. A first aid kit because you just never know. I've got my stove. I've got my titanium mug, which has also got the gas canister inside of it. And I've got toiletries, toothpaste, some deodorant, etc. Boom, on the bike, good to go. Couple of water bottles, obviously. And now, what about my seat pack? Well, I've got my Alpkit Soloist tent. I've got my Sea to Summit Etherlight XT sleeping mat. And a little Sea to Summit pillow also. And of course some Firepot dehydrated meals, well worth a look. And my Rab hooded jacket. Onto the bike it goes. Now, my handlebar pack, what's inside? Well, I've got my Alpkit Pipe Dream 600 sleeping bag. Along with a bivvy bag. And that's it, on the bike. I've got a water filter and a dry bag to clip on the back. And that's me done. Let's go bikepacking, shall we?
Well, we're off, and I guess it's only fair that I tell you where we're going. Take a look at that view though, it's not bad. Well, I'm going to a place called Loch Eddy, or Eddy Loch, I'm not sure which way around it goes. But it's out near Innerleithen, in the Scottish borders. And I found it by scrolling over the map on Komoot until I found a body of water that looked like it was in the middle of nowhere. So, it looks like there's some kind of gravel / off-road trail up there, so could be an interesting 2 miles or so towards the end of the ride. But if I get there and it looks like it did from Google Earth, I'll be quite happy with it, I think.
Just want to take a second here. This water filter I'm using right here from Sawyer International, highly recommended. Filters out 99.999% of all sorts of bacteria and 100% of microplastics. I've used it mostly from running water like this, but also some dirtier stuff, and I've never been ill. So if you want one, check the link in the description.
So I've just peeled off the road and onto this, yeah, I guess it's a fire road that I didn't even know existed, so that's nice. What's not nice is the elevation profile. It looks like we're going uphill for a while, but of all the places to go uphill, this looks like a pretty nice one, so let's see how we go. Well, I'm not going to lie, this is pretty tough. The views are worth it. It's nice out there to the right, but I made the foolish mistake of looking down at my Wahoo trip computer, which is full of switchbacks, and everyone knows what switchbacks mean. They're there because it's bloody steep, and it is, but we'll keep going. I reckon in an hour or so's time we should be at the loch, setting up camp, thinking about some hot food and a warm cup of coffee. Quick update, it's still really steep. Right, I know I'm pointing at the sky because I'm not sitting on the bike properly, but energy bar is needed. I've been in the woods for, I reckon, 3 kilometres. I have climbed for 3 kilometres, so according to the Wahoo, I've still got a good bit to go. What I do like about the Wahoo is that it keeps auto pausing because it thinks I'm going nowhere. So cheers very much for that, Wahoo, making me feel real good about all the effort I'm putting in. I don't want to jinx it, but I could be getting towards the top. Man, I hope you can see this view here.
Just a little FYI here, I had 100% jinxed it. The climbing was not done.
The one perk of being blinded by the sun is that I can no longer see how good or bad the surface is, and I can't see how long it goes uphill for because I can see about 10 metres beyond my front wheel.
And in one corner it got real tasty. Sorry for the language.
Well, this is different. I could do with a bit less mud. Holy shit. Any dry bits would be great. I'm not even gonna lie, totally surprised myself with the fact that I stayed on the bike there. So, I don't know how much of all of that back there you saw, but it was very bright. Should have brought sunglasses. Super muddy. Super proud of myself for staying on the bike. Totally could have decked it at least 2 or 3 times in the thick stuff. The bike held up well. The tyres are now carrying an extra 2 kilos of weight in mud, so good for the legs, right? But I am in the middle of nowhere, which is both great and also kind of nerve-wracking because the sun is going down over the hills over there. But I'm going to spin the camera and take a look where we are.
And little did I know at this point here how good the next few kilometres were going to be. Check this out.
This bike, by the way, handling this like a dream. Considering I'm laden with my bags and everything, this is a joy to ride. Oh, it just gets better. Get out of here. Scotland, what are you playing at? Stop being so damn beautiful. Yeah! Oh, we're gonna go downhill some more. Sign me up. Now I know this kind of footage isn't for everyone, you're just watching me ride my bike, but man, if you ride a bike and you do this kind of stuff, you know how much fun I'm having right now. I'm going that way. So all the way down there, I was shouting at the camera and talking, telling you how much of a great time I was having, because I was. But I had to stop at the bottom because that, well, where am I pointing here? That descent up there, it's just a joke. It might be one of the best things I've ever done on a bike. My bike's loaded up. I've not lost anything. Always a bonus. But yeah, if you didn't hear me shouting, pick the route that nobody else goes because you end up with stuff like that.
So this right here would be my final gate of the day. I was peeling out right into the middle of nowhere. The surface got a little bit rocky, kind of bumped me around a little bit as I was getting a bit tired after all that climbing, but it was about to be worth it.
The welcome party is here. Thanks everyone. Cheers very much. Appreciate it. Oh, okay. I'll see how it is. Wow. Oh. It was worth it. We've made the right choice.
Now, in an ideal world, I would have loved to have made a little video of me setting up camp, getting everything situated, unpacking my bags, but the truth of the matter is, it got dark really, really quickly. The temperature started dropping, and I needed to get myself warm and get some food. Sorry the light's blinding, but it's pitch black. It's only 6 o'clock, but I've got some food on the go over here. Got a nice little fire, keeping me warm, and the tent is set up. So yeah, it was a nice ride out. The last 10k's, like I say, was lots of hills, lots of very boggy surfaces, but some awesome downhill towards the end. So that was good. It's pretty cold. Of course it is. It's January, Scotland. But little fires keep me warm. I'm going to tuck into some grub now. And yeah, then I'll climb into my tent, read my book for a bit, and get some shut-eye. So I will see you all in the morning. Cheerio! Well, good morning from the tent. It's still pitch black outside, and it's pretty cold and windy, and it was very windy last night. But I had a decent sleep. I've got a few new bits of kit that I was trialling for the first time. So I'll run through them quickly, and they'll definitely be getting separate reviews because they have performed very well. So number one, I've got the Sea to Summit Etherlight XT sleeping mat. Yes, it's a little bit bulkier, but it's super comfortable. I paired that with the Pipe Dream 600 sleeping bag from Alpkit. Again, a little bit bulkier, but I think it's comfort rated down to -12, so it is what it is, right? You can't have super warmth and no weight. It just doesn't work like that unless you're spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds, which I haven't got. And I paired that with a little Sea to Summit pillow. They've got this kind of pillow quad lock thing, they call it, where the pillow kind of sticks to the sleeping mat so it doesn't move all over the place. And it sounds a bit gimmicky, but it works really well, and I didn't find myself falling off the pillow in the middle of the night. Right, I'll leave it at that. Those 3 items are definitely going to get separate reviews, but all in all, had a good night's sleep. Let's get out this tent and get some breakfast. So, it's breakfast time. I have got the water on the boil. Hopefully it won't take too long. And this morning, I'm going with baked apple porridge by Firepot. These meals have been pretty good, recommended to me by a friend. I had the orzo bolognese last night, and it was very tasty. They are a little bit pricey than some of the others, but they are a little bit tastier. So as with everything, it seems to be, you get what you pay for. So I'm hoping that tastes beautiful. And I've got a couple of not very exciting toffee nut Nescafe sachets. I just don't have the room for a proper coffee setup, otherwise I would carry one. But they'll do the job. A little bit of caffeine, a little bit of sugar, it'll warm me up nicely, so job's a good one. However, I wanted to briefly mention something that happened on the way out to the campsite yesterday. I was on a little back road and I bumped into John. I'll try and put a little clip of John ahead of me on his bike here. And John was having a problem with his bike, so I stopped and tried to help out. I gave him a cable tie. Hopefully it did the job, John, if you're watching this. But we got talking on the way out. We cycled together for probably 6 or 7 miles, I want to say. And you know, like you do when you're on your bike and you meet people on a bike, you seem to share a few stories. And I have asked John if I can share this with you, by the way, before I go into his personal details. But John was telling me how a few years ago he had got cancer, and yeah, it kind of taken him by surprise. And when he was in hospital, he wasn't lying in bed thinking about how he needs to get better so he can go back to work and things like that. He was lying in bed thinking about how he wanted to get better so he could go back out on his bike. And at first I thought, of all the things to say, that's a little bit odd. Surely it's like spending time with family and things like this, but I'm sure that was equally as important. But I think the fact we were on the bikes, he just led with he wanted to get out on his bike. And since he's out of hospital a few years ago, he has definitely been doing that. He was telling me he clocked up just over 9,000 miles last year on the bike, which is way more than I've ever done in a year. And especially now I've got the kids.
So yeah, he does a little 10 or 20 miles each day, pretty much along the same road, he was saying, and he says he's never felt better for it. So it just got me thinking, you know, you never know what's coming. You've got to make the most of it while you're here, and although being out here in January in the cold in the morning and boiling your own water and washing in the loch behind me isn't going to appeal to everyone, there's one thing that it definitely does, and it definitely makes you feel alive. So don't knock it till you've tried it. But anyway, I just wanted to share that story with John. And John, if you do get around to watching this, mate, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're still riding your bike, and I hope you got it serviced and it's all running beautifully. But anyway, that's enough. It's just a little story, and it kind of had a little impact on me, so I thought I'd share it with you. But yeah, get out there and give it a go. Don't knock it till you've tried it, alright? Right, breakfast time.
So, time for the baked apple porridge. Pour the water in, give it a mix, seal it up and leave it for 15 minutes. And that'll be you for breakfast. Full of calories, pretty tasty, no complaints from me. But after breakfast, I decided I would go and get a wash. This water was so clear you could see to the bottom, and if I'd remembered my towel, I probably would have had a dip. Well, with a warm breakfast inside me, it was time to start packing away. First of all, down to the loch to fill up my water bottles, and then it was time to get everything out of the tent. But as you can see from the trees and the clouds blowing through, the wind was pretty strong. A few things did blow off into the woods, but I chased after them, got everything in the bags, and then it was time to get on my way.
Well, that wind is behind us, and the first kilometre or two have flown by. But let's not get carried away here. Like, let's save the legs. I think I've got about, again, another 40 to 50 kilometres to do before I get home. But once you get moving, you soon warm up. And if that wind stays behind me, I'll be a very happy boy.
So we're back on the road and saying hi to the locals.
Morning. Hiya. Morning. Right. Morning. Morning. Just a wildlife update. Pheasants that I've scared, 0. Pheasants that have scared me, 13. Well played, pheasants, well played.
And just like that, I was back into the town. Back with all of the people going about their days, doing their shopping, in their cars. Thinking, only 3 hours ago, I was in the middle of nowhere, eating porridge out of a bag. But hey, it's not for everyone, but it's definitely for me. It'd been another great bikepacking trip in a beautiful part of the world, and I will most definitely going back in the summer because that loch needs to have a little swim, I think.
Well, we started in the garage, so we're going to finish in the garage. That's me just back. Lovely little trip. The location was beautiful. Hopefully you agree from some of the pictures and videos I put up. All the gear I used, the new stuff, the sleeping mat, the sleeping bag, all worked great. I'm going to be doing some separate reviews on them, so be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see what I've got to say. The bike did great. That's the Pinnacle Arcos there. It's his first bikepacking trip out, so well done you. Tyres gripped pretty much everything apart from when it was really boggy yesterday. The alt lead bags, as always, cracking job. Super windproof, waterproof, kept everything dry, kept everything organised. So yeah, I need to unpack, clean up some stuff, get a shower, get some hot food, and repack my bags for all the stuff I've used. But if you've enjoyed the video, you've enjoyed my little adventure, then hit that subscribe and like button, leave me a comment, let me know what you did like, what you didn't like, what you want to see. But the plan is for this year, at least one bikepacking trip a month, just a little escape from family life. So 12 episodes, January through December, all sorts of weather, all sorts of locations. Cheers for tuning in, and I will see you all next time. Bye.